Well, for many people moving to America, it begins with a student visa. For others, it starts with a work permit. But there is another route that has attracted investors from all around the globe. The EB-5 Investor Visa Program. Well, it offers a pathway to permanent residency in exchange for significant investment in the American economy. Now, that pathway, it has hit a temporary roadblock for the Indian applicants. That's right, that's a sad news for Indians here. The US government has announced that the annual quote available under a major EB-5 category, it has exhausted for Indian nationals. In simple terms, no additional visas under that category can be issued until the next allocation cycle begins. For many families here waiting for the approval, the news, it means more delay and more uncertainty. The EB-5 program, it was designed to attract the foreign investment while creating jobs inside the United States. Investors, they are required to commit substantial amount of money just to qualify the project and meet very strict job creation requirement. Over the years, many Indians, they have used this particular route as a way to secure permanent residency for themselves and their families. However, demand has now surged, and when demand exceeds supply, waiting list that becomes longer. Ladies and gentlemen, the latest development is yet another reminder of how competitive America's immigration system has become. Whether it is student visa, work permit or investor category, well, demand continues to outpace the availability here. Now, for many Indian families planning long-term moves to the United States, the message is clear. Immigration planning is becoming increasingly complex and delays are becoming a normal part of that process. International diplomacy often plays out behind closed doors, right? Governments discuss disagreements quietly, ambassadors, they exchange messages and officials, they work just to avoid public confrontation. But sometimes an accident, it is so serious that it forces the governments to speak openly. And that is exactly what happened after a tanker carrying Indian crew members came under an attack by the United States. The whole incident resulted in the death of 3 Indian nationals and immediately triggered concern in New Delhi. Now here, according to the American officials, the vessel had reportedly ignored multiple warnings before military action was taken. Well, the warnings allegedly included radio messages, visual signals and other attempts to stop the ship. While US authorities argue that their forces followed established procedures before opening fire. However, for India, the focus is not on procedure. The focus is on the loss of the human lives. 3 Indian sailors, they never returned home. 3 families received devastating news, and that is why the matter quickly moved far beyond military explanation and became a diplomatic issue. India has reportedly conveyed its concern to the US and sought accountability regarding the circumstances surrounding the death here. While both the countries continue to maintain strong strategic relation, incidents like this, like a civilian casualty, always create difficult questions. And yes, at the heart of this story lies a simple reality. Behind every geopolitical dispute are ordinary people whose lives, they can be changed forever in a matter of seconds.